another good day here at the Great Debaters Contest. Welcome to the show. I am Mariam Bishar.
I am Austin Nyombok.
So today we ask, is being able to biologically make a child enough to make you a qualified parent? The debate seeks to answer whether parenting classes should be made compulsory and a prerequisite to having children.
Proposing the motion, we have Our Lady of Mercy, who have told their opponents that they may be closer to the president, but they are closer to victory. And State House girls who are opposing the motion have also told Our Lady of Mercy that they sure hope they brought their lady, because they will need that mercy. So, may the debates begin.
The motion this week is: parenting classes should be made compulsory and a prerequisite to having children. Proposing the motion, Our Lady of Mercy. Opposing the motion, State House Girls High School.
Each contestant has 3 minutes to make their submissions. The audience also gets a chance to put their questions to each team. Each side will have an additional 1 minute to make a final statement. The judge's decision is final. The winning school will get an ICT chill-out zone with a widescreen TV, computers, webcams, and internet connection. The teacher from the winning school gets 100,000 shillings courtesy of Chase Bank. The winning students each get a tablet courtesy of Safaricom, a gift hamper from Unilever, and a gift hamper from mimi.co.ke. And together, they all win the title, The Great Debaters. May the best school win.
Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes to give us your opening remarks.
I'm Diana Musyoka from Our Lady of Mercy Secondary School. There is nothing that can prove a person's ignorance than refusing knowledge and wisdom. You do not go with a paddle boat to race an electrically charged one. That is sheer madness. Times are changing, and so should we, don't you think? And due to this necessity, we invent methods, we invent devices, such as these classes, to help us to curb this raging storm. I will start by defining what parental classes are. You see, these are classes that are organized and conducted to those who wish to be parents. And a prerequisite, you may ask. It is something that is done before another exists. I will start. You see, first-time parents may be clueless on how to bring up their children. Some responses are quite natural. If a baby cries, you know, I should pat their back, or I should change their diaper, or probably they're hungry. They do not require much tutelage. However, there are others. Skills like effective listening, good communication, empathy require someone to train you, to give you a deeper explanation on how you are going to bring up your child, to be able to expose your child's personality and your child's character. You see, just because a person is born a runner doesn't mean they do not need a coach or a trainer or to train to bring the best out of them. Secondly, 24th May 2014, in China, a child was beaten to death by the father. Why? Because of cheating in her examinations. Fine, she did the wrong thing. I do not disagree. 10th October 2013, a man beat up his child. Why? Because of defecating himself. Recently in the news, I believe you all watch news. Recently in the news, a child was beaten to death. Why? Because of borrowing or being lended a maize cob by a neighbor. That is inhumanity. That is insane. That is absurd. How do you beat up a child to death just because they sinned? Pardon me. You see, assuming these people actually went for parental classes, they will know how to deal with that situation. They will understand that, yes, my child is wrong, I do not disagree, but should I really beat up the child to death? Lack of proper discipline methods, that is my point. As I conclude, assume that this child is not really a child. This child is probably a company. This child is probably a farm. You need to go for classes to know how to start a company. In the same way, you need to go for classes to learn how to bring up your child. I rest my case. Thank you.
Opening remarks from the opposing team, you have 3 minutes.
Shalmith Washira from State House Girls High School. According to what we get from this motion, the motion states that everyone must attend classes which enlighten them on the social and intellectual development of a child. Our main problem is not the ideas the parents get, but the time. A class is an occasion when students meet to be taught. Where do they get the time to meet? The parents are busy fending for the family. Why don't they get other things like using the radio? You know, we have the problem of the traffic jam. While they are in the traffic, they can still listen and the ideas may be passed on. I don't think that these compulsory classes would have any effect. Take the example of free and compulsory education. Yes, they have made education free and compulsory, but you'll still find some people not in school. So what makes you think that the same people who want to enroll in parenting classes? You can take a cow to the river, but you may not force it to drink water. The people will go to the classes, yes, but will they send inspectors to their home to see whether they are articulating whatever they were taught in the classes and instilling the same values they were taught to their children? The walk of life is all about variety. If all people are brought up the same way the parents were taught, we will not have a differentiating factor between the people. We all have a special element about ourselves that makes us special and worth remembering. Why would you want somebody dictating how you raise your child? You've got things that you consider worthwhile, and another person may consider the same things not as right. So this may bring conflict between the people. Others may think you're raising your child right, while others may not accept it. This program may come with a lot of expenses. Training the people who come to teach them, and also the infrastructure needed. So why wouldn't we just find other cheaper methods that do not need training, that do not need infrastructure, and the main idea would still be passed on, but in a more cheaper way. Parenting comes natural. Let's take the example of the lion, the animal. Who told you that these animals attend classes so that they can be taught how to be parents? It's all about apprenticeship. You personally learn your lessons from your mother or your father. You don't need to go to classes. You know the way your mother has raised you or the way your father has raised you. Your mother and father consider this to be right or wrong. So when you get your own children, you may know how to guide them. This is wrong, this is right. Thank you.
Time now for rebuttals. From the proposing team, you have 3 minutes.
From Our Lady of Mercy Secondary School, I am Natasha Mweni. Time. We have online classes. Why can't a person intending to be a parent, knows the magnitude of the responsibility they'll be having? Therefore, this parent should be able to spare 2 hours, 4 hours online learning about these things. Time is not a factor. Are you trying to compare the life that's going to be more than 18 years with just 2 hours a day of learning on how to bring up this individual? A parent cannot come to class because it's too much time. I mean, she said that. Is that the kind of person you want raising a child? If a person cannot realize the responsibility, the importance of these classes, then why should he or she be considering even being a parent? We go to school. She spoke about people not having variety in parenting. We go to school. We have different mindsets. We have different ways of thinking. If we all thought the same, then we wouldn't be having a debate here. There wouldn't be people proposing and some opposing. Because why? Because we all have the same mindset. Is that really true? Is that a fact? I do not think so. On to my first point. 50 to 66% of parents with mental illness and other long-term illnesses live with children below the age of 18. This setup will affect the child because with this kind of illnesses comes stress. With this kind of illnesses comes strained relationships. Therefore, if one of these spouses went to these classes prior to having this child, then they will know how to deal with these problems. They will know how to give this child love equal measure. We need a future. By ignoring this, will we create a future? Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes to give your rebuttal.
My name is Virginia Githinji, and I'm grateful for this chance. First, prerequisite. The proposer said that it is something that is done before. The dictionary clearly states not just done before, but must be done before something else happens. Secondly, my colleague, the first opposer, said that classes, according to the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, it says it is an occasion when a group of students meet together. We want to clearly state this. We are not against people getting this information about parenthood. What we are against is the classes themselves. There are many more methods of getting this information, not just classes. Most of us are students here, and even if you're not a student, you have been a student one time. Imagine the amount of time you have taken. Let me help you calculate. For most of us, some of us might have not taken kindergarten, so allow me to start from primary. From the age of 7 to around the age of 14, you're still in primary school. From the age of 15 to around the age of 18 or 19, you go to high school. From the age of 19 to the age of 23, you are in university. And if you want to further your studies, you can go even up to the age of 30. Then do you still have time for other classes? For example, when we were fighting against drugs and drug addiction, we did not only use classes. We had variety of methods, and this information got to people. This information was spread through the media, through advertisements, through songs, through even the drama festivals. They would be given themes that are concerning drug abuse, so that this information is passed. The same way that they used these methods, they also integrated it into the school system. This is not a class only for drugs. It is just part of what you're being taught in class, just a small part of it. One of you said that we are debating differently. Let me ask, are we all being trained by the same teachers to stand here and debate? If a parenting class is started, I am pretty sure if it's made compulsory, they will have a specific syllabus for it. Now, imagine we are all going for the same education system, the 844 system. Maybe others are taking other systems, but the major one is the 844 system. Most of us are taking that system, and when you get out there, you find that we are competing for the same jobs. Allow me to ask this question before I conclude. If we are going to take the same courses for parenting, won't we be taught the same things from the time we are born till the time we finish schooling? We'll be competing for the same thing. Thank you.
Questions for the proposers?
Jesse Kimoto from Alliance High School. My question is for the proposers. They say that the parents should take online classes for parenting and such and such. How effective will this be in the current society you're living in, whereby most people are not enlightened in terms of IT?
Opposers?
A question to the opposers. There are some classes that take like about 3 months. So apart from the time issue, what else do you have against these classes for parenthood?
We go straight ahead to the third proposer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Osewe from Our Lady of Mercy, and I am here to answer your questions. The first question, and actually the second, are more or less interrelated. They are asking on the importance of parenting classes. Well, if you are listening keenly to what the first proposer said, then you will have gotten it. She said, as a parent, you will acquire effective communication skills. This is something very important. It is important. Why? It is the basis of parenting. If we learn how to communicate with our children, we will not have parents beating up their children. We will not have parents killing their children for very, very mere reasons. Some will argue that our parents and grandparents did not attend parenting classes, but still managed to become good parents. Well, I beg to differ on that one. Why? There is something known as initiation. There was something known as initiation during that time. Initiation came with seclusion period. What were people taught during this seclusion period? Teenagers were taught on how to be, 1, good mothers, 2, good cooks, good husbands. Is in these informal parenting classes? I would like to remind you that parenting classes have been there. So if we are going to say that our parents did not attend parenting classes, then I urge you to sit down and think again. Another thing, parenting classes will enable modern parents. We call ourselves the 21st century. Do you expect our parents to use the techniques applied to raising them in the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th century? No. The problems that were there during that century are not the problems that are affecting us in the 21st century. So what am I driving at? I am saying we need these parenting classes so that we can learn on the modern techniques of parenting. There was an argument of time consuming, time this, time that. If you have carefully researched, you will learn that these classes only take 3 to 4 hours a week. And they are not for a lifetime like you compare primary and secondary education. No, they only take 4 to 5 weeks. Is that too much time to give to your child? I believe not. Thank you.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to give your remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is power, but is knowledge everything? Before you is Claire Mushiri from State House Girls. Let's journey together and see why we should not have these parenting classes. To the first question, comparing parenting of a child and parenting of a cub. In biology, which I presume that most of us are familiar with, you're classified as a mammal, both you and the animal. Our opponents argue that classes only take a few months. Now, you have been in school for 18 and more years. In this period, you've been taught morals, you've been taught character. Now, will something that takes 4 to 5 hours a day for 6 weeks change all this? I doubt. What new will you learn that you have not learned in over 20 years? The weakness is not in the parenting classes. The weakness is in the continuity of these classes. We argue about having classes before giving birth to children. Before I give birth to my firstborn, I go for classes. Before I give birth to my secondborn, I go for classes. Before I give birth to my thirdborn, I go for classes. Will we live like this? I am certainly not willing to do that. Now, we need to have proper systems put in place. Whatever you're taught in those few weeks will not equip you with what is changing every day. I can bet you that in every issue of a Saturday newspaper, there is a column on parenting. There are millions, if not thousands, of books written on parenting. There's online information about parenting. Why don't we work on boosting this instead of taking someone to a classroom? A classroom will only equip you for a few months. What happens after that? What happens when a few months along the line or a few years along the line, you realize, my child is not going right. What do? Do you run back to class? No. Why don't we give you information that you can just look up immediately online? Or refer to a certain book, or even consult. I emphasize, our quarrel is with the classes, not with the information. Now, love is not taught. You cannot teach me how to love. And taking me to class will not make me a more affectionate parent. That is learnt in life. Classes will not make me stop beating up my child. That is learnt in life. Thank you.
Closing remarks now from both teams. We begin with the proposers. You have 1 minute.
Well, I would like the opposing mammals to listen keenly. About 70% of children that die from abuse are under 4. And out of this 70, 82% are abused by their biological mothers and fathers. So, I know they have love, but how do they use this love? How does this love help the children positively? That is the purpose of mandatory classes. We need not ignore this. We need help. We need help in doing everything we undertake. Ignoring this is like sitting next to a pile of stinking rubbish and closing your eyes, hoping not to smell it. Sheer madness. Ludicrous. So listen. Leave these people's opinions alone, leave their arguments alone, and listen to ours. Thank you very much.
Last but not least, the opposers. You have 1 minute for your final remarks.
Life is like a mirror. If you smile at it, it smiles right back at you. If you frown at it, it frowns right back at you. Parenting is the same. If you approach it positively, then you'll have good results. If you approach it negatively, the results are as obvious. Now, personally, my parents have not gone to any classroom to be taught on how to raise me. I believe I am an individual who is independent, free-spirited, and I turned out pretty well. And I believe most of you did. Now, do we want to take our parents to class and risk them getting a D+ in parenting class? I certainly will not risk that. I believe that we all can be good parents if we put our mind to it, and the resources are available if you just look hard enough. Thank you.
I'll start with Our Lady of Mercy, Diana, quite strong. Natasha, there were some rebuttals that I expected from you. There was a question on expenses, that these parenting classes are quite expensive. I wanted to hear your take on it, your team. What do you take? What was your take? There was also a question on dictatorship, that taking parents to parenting classes is dictating them. I wanted to get your reaction on that. Nonetheless, you're very passionate and very convincing. Susan, good use of voice. Nonetheless, at some point, you're really loud, really loud. If you know that you have that loud voice, try to keep the mic away from you. Voice modulation is equally good. The stress, quite strong.
State House, I'll applaud your teamwork as a team as well. Shamith, you come in very well as a first speaker. You're very organized. You deliver your points very well with clarity. And I believe you're a great debater in yourself. Virginia as well, confident, good delivery, good mastery of language. I was impressed. Claire, now this was now more awesome. I mean, you come very wise even in answering your questions. You are very sure not to go on dangerous grounds while answering them. You're a good speaker as well. And for me, both teams were good teams. Let's appreciate them, please.
Shelmith, I like your style of presentation. Very calm, very composed, and a unique way of debating. Virginia, again, very good delivery, very calm as well. Claire Mushiri, again, you're a great speaker, also very calm. And I think from the two teams, we saw a team that was very strong, in terms of delivery, and a team that was calm in terms of delivery, but ultimately, each of the two teams was able to do very well. All the best to the two teams.
Our Lady of Mercy. The judges gave you 76%. Give them a round of applause. State House Girls, High School, 76%. May they have a round of applause.
Thank you so much to the ladies on the stage. What they have done for us today is show us true debate. And I think these are the days when you look at the judges and you say, better them than us. That was a really hard job judging them. So from us here at the Great Debaters Contest, it's till next time. I am Mariam Bishar.
I am Austin Nyambok, and thank you for watching.
The winning school will get an ICT chill-out zone with the widescreen TV, computers, webcams, and internet connection. The teacher from the winning school gets 100,000 shillings courtesy of Chase Bank. The winning students each get a tablet courtesy of Safaricom, a gift hamper from Unilever, and a gift hamper from mimi.co.ke. And together, they all win the title, The Great Debaters. May the best school win.